All right, everybody. We've got a few more left guards to get through here, left guard candidates, and we're going to kick things off with a couple of players from the national championship winning Michigan Wolverines. Two guys on that offensive line this year who I think are going to project to left guard in the NFL. First guy here is Trevor Keegan of, like I said, the Wolverines, 24 years old, 6'5", 310 pounds, 32 and 3/8 inch arms, 10-inch hands, so decent measurables. Not the kind of arm length you would expect for an NFL tackle, of course, which is why he slots in very nicely to that left guard spot. His combine was pretty good. By modern standards, it's not anything that jumps off the page, but 5'2", 440, 178, 10-yard split is okay, and his jumps were good. So decent amount of explosiveness in his body. Big boards, Walter Football is the only one that really likes him. They have him in the top 100. CBS has him in the fourth round. PFF has him in the fifth. The aggregate has him in the fifth. Expect him to go somewhere around there. In 2023, he did have a pretty impressive season with 0 allowed sacks, only 10 hurries, and 1 hit. The year before that, he struggled a little bit more, but you can see the development. You can see the improvement in his play. So what I can say about Keegan in the positive is he's got a ton of big game experience because Michigan was in the playoff all 3 years he was playing there. He's very good in lane double team blocks. He's really good in combo blocks. He's built very impressively. He looks like a guy who should be playing guard in the NFL. He keeps balanced and plays soundly when he's out there. He's somebody who doesn't, his body doesn't get in front of his feet and he doesn't get out of balance because of it. Good fit for his own scheme, I think, because of his skills in space. He's somebody who's always looking for an extra block delay. He doesn't stop until the whistle blows. If one guy's taken out, if his guy's taken out of the play, he will go find another guy and keep blocking until the play's done. He plays with force, he plays strongly, so definite positive attributes here. Now, he does get beaten by speed. I feel like he can get beaten by speed. He's overall not a very great athlete. When you look at some of the athletes we've looked at in this video series alone, you can see why he's a little bit of a step down. He struggles to win the leverage battle. He is 6'5", and he does play kind of standing straight up. Gonna have to work on that. Longer armed linemen may bully him. Like if he runs into a defensive lineman that has like 35-inch arms, that's going to be tough for him to deal with. So I kind of view Keegan as a low risk prospect who will probably ascend to the point where he's a quality backup, but I don't know if he'll be likely to exceed that. I see Keegan as being like a capable NFL backup, not much more. And there's definitely a place in the world for that. So I take him in the fifth. Not going to do it before then because there's not much upside there. Another Michigan player next up, LaDarius Henderson, who I believe moved out to left tackle for most of the year because of necessity. So I do think he'll do better when he's allowed to move back to his natural position. And you can see in 2023, he gave up 24 hurries on the quarterbacks at Michigan, along with 2 sacks and 5 hits, and his PFF grade was bad. So wasn't cut out to play tackle. So LaDarius Henderson needs to move back inside where I think he'll be a good player. 6'4", 309 pounds, only 22 years old, by the way. 35-inch arms, so he does have tackle arms. It just didn't work out. 10 and 5/8 inch hands. 20 BP reps was kind of weak for an interior lineman, granted, but overall, I do like what LaDarius Henderson can potentially bring in some regards. He's got a good build, just like I said about Keegan. His athletic traits are actually pretty good. I know he didn't test very much, but his athletic traits are solid. He can move defenders off the ball in the run game. He does bring some strength to the run game that a lot of these guys don't have. He is capable of actually opening up holes. He's got good footwork, and he really understands how to win leverage battles. He's the low man in the trenches most of the time. He knows how to sink the hips and be the low man. Low man wins. That being said, he is inconsistent. I feel like there's some consistency that needs to be pushed into his game. He, like I said, did not play well at tackle in 2023, and I know that some people probably would have looked at Henderson and said this is a future tackle because his arms are so long and he's a little bit smaller, but I just don't see it. If he couldn't do it at Michigan, how's he going to do it in the NFL? He does struggle with the more cerebral side of playing offensive line, picking up blitzes and stunts. At the end of the day, I feel like that he's probably going to be a gap scheme fit. because of his struggles playing in space, despite his decent athletic traits. It seems to me that he just needs to be in a simple system where he blocks the guy in front of him. And he does struggle to sustain his blocks, which is troublesome, right? He'll win the rep, but then he lets the rep get away from him. Like, there are some guys, once they win the rep, it's over. LaDarius Henderson, he can win the rep and then blow it, a second and a half later. So he's a flawed prospect, to be sure. He doesn't fit his own base scheme very well, even if things work out for him. So I think that there's a team out there that will probably want a guy like this. I don't think that team is the Seahawks. I wouldn't spend any draft pick on him. If I were a team that wanted a mauler, then maybe in like the 6th or 7th round it would be okay. But there's just a lot that needs to be fixed here for him to make it in the NFL at all. I definitely like Keegan better for multiple reasons once we get to the NFL here. Final guy is Jarrett Kingston of USC. Could not find his age. 6'4", 306 pounds, 32 and an 1/8 inch arms, 9 3/4 inch hands. Tested really well. He jumped off the page testing, and I feel like this is a guy who was getting very little attention, but this combine's going to get him some attention. 5'02", 40, 173 10-yard split, 31.5 inch vert, 9'3" inch broad, 7.53 3-cone, 4.47 20-yard shuttle, 32 bench press reps. Those are all remarkable. 85th percentile or higher. A lot of those are 90 percentile plus. Remarkable combine performance from Kingston. Put him on the map. As of right now, CBS is the only big board I found that has him getting drafted. And they barely have him getting drafted. The database has him like 60 picks away from getting drafted. So, to me, I look at this and I go, this combine's going to put him on the map. Because right now he's still, people seem a little unaware of him. Didn't have a stellar 2023, granted. Allowed 4 sacks, 12 hurries, 1 hit. Stepped down from his 2022 where he allowed 0 sacks. So there's that. But there's a lot of movement skills potential in him. There's a lot of explosiveness in him. Look at these jumps for a guy this size. He's got excellent pass protection technique. His understanding of how to stay in front of his man and mirror is really, really good. And I think that he'll be a good zone fit. I think he'll be able to handle blocking linebackers and even defensive backs down the field. He's got a great latch. Once he gets onto his man, he's not going to let him go. He finishes the rep really well. He's got really good footwork, really good at lateral agility stuff. He pushes hard in run blocking. There's a lot of exertion when he's trying to open up a hole. And he doesn't necessarily have the most strength to actually displace defenders, but there's plenty of effort there, and he'll do his best, and he does have some success there. Now, he does have a little bit of a smaller build than you would like from a guard. He gets beaten to the outside by speedier guys, which is why it's important that he plays inside in the NFL. In 2023, by the way, it should be noted that he played right guard and right tackle mostly, and in previous years he was playing on the left side, so that's a big part of the reason why he struggled. His testing numbers don't totally show up the way that they did at the combine when you put on the tape, and his short arms do create issues even when he's playing on the inside. But I like a lot of things about Kingston. He seems like an intelligent player, high football IQ, good athletic ability. I think the physical limitations will keep him to probably just being a backup or a low-end starter, but I would not mind taking him in the 6th round and trying to develop him in this zone-based scheme. All right, that's it for the left guards this year. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me know if you think I missed anybody. See you guys later. Go Hawks.